Hare Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please, now maybe we'll move a little bit because altar should be fixed. We will close a little bit.
Just few seconds, sorry.
Just few seconds.
We
Yes,
didn't
altar is not
put
ready.
before the program. We didn't get the balance.
Yes. What? Yeah. This.
Put on the right. Here and here as well.
What is it? Nice.
There is one. So I'm trying to.
Yeah, that happened now. Not yesterday.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome today on our Sunday feast. First of all, I want to thank everyone who was taking part and helping yesterday. It was a really nice festival. Thank you very much. And today we continue our festival as well. We have two senior devotees visiting us. They came yesterday, Mahabhavi Prabhu and Navina Nirada Prabhu. Yes, thank you. Yes, and we are very lucky. I can tell a few words about Navina Nirada Prabhu. He started his Krishna consciousness very early in his life. In we can say in childhood. Yes. 15 years, yes, old. So what we was doing 15 years old, just think a little bit so you understand the difference, yes. And he is one of the most Sankirtan book distributors, the best book distributor in the world. Like a little bit for us, it's like a Superman. So we should pray and ask him blessings if we want to come a little bit forward with the book distribution. Yes, and he is traveling around all the world very much and giving lectures, giving the knowledge. And today we are such a fortune that we will get also the lecture from Prabhu. Yes, so we are ready to listen to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Viramayam Dadati Svapadantikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vacharam Bhangum Mangayate Girim Yatkripadamaham Vande Sri Gurudinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Jitandishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyevcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. A little crowded down there. We got more VIP seats here. You want to move up? You want to move up in the world?
Yes,
you want to
please.
get a promotion? This is your chance. We upgrade. Economy Plus. In the third verse of the Upadeshamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami states, Utsahani Shayad Haryanta Tat Karma Pravartana Sangotaga Sato Vritte Satir Bhaktir Prasidati. That the six kind of activities that are conducive, that are helpful for devotional service are, number one, Utsaha, enthusiasm. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada has one of these very concise definitions of what means enthusiasm. He says enthusiasm means to endeavor with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. What does enthusiasm mean? To endeavor with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Now, if you want to get a tattoo, voila, there it is. Endeavor with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. I'm not saying get a tattoo or make a t-shirt, but you can frame that, put it on your hall of quotes or in your mental imagery. Because sometimes we think enthusiasm just means you get really busy. You just start running around and you do a lot of things and you make a lot of noise. But that's not really what is meant. We have to endeavor with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. That is enthusiasm. There are different examples that are given for enthusiasm in the scriptures. One is that little sparrow whose eggs got stolen by the ocean. Sparrow laid the eggs and ocean took it, and sparrow got very upset, naturally, and vowed to dry out the ocean, and went with its little beak and started picking water and putting it on the land. And the ocean did not care to respond. Why? Because what is it to the ocean? Yet when Garuda heard that his little sister had shown that much enthusiasm, he came and he was ready to prove a point. So he called the ocean and he said, "You give back those eggs, otherwise I will take up the task and I will dry you out." So ocean gave back the eggs. So sometimes situation may look impossible, may look very unlikely, but if we're enthusiastic, somehow Krishna does the magic and things change. Have you noticed? Have you had experience? I think you all have, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. Like yesterday we saw that Lord Jagannath, he performed his wonderful Leela of Rath Yatra. And there's many miracles that are always involved, because from a material point of view, in a conservative and quite regulated and quite strict society like Gothenburg, Sweden, it would not be so easy to pull this off, right? But because of the enthusiasm of the devotees, it happened in a very beautiful, in a very congenial, in a very inspiring way. So, people don't care how much you know till they actually know that you care. And how do we show our care? By going outside of our comfort zone. When we stretch our comfort zone, it becomes stretch zone. If you stretch too much, it becomes panic zone. But your stretch zone can become your new comfort zone. And then your panic zone becomes your stretch zone. And in this way, you keep on increasing. Srila Prabhupada was very comfortable in Vrindavan. He was 7 years old. He was a vanaprastha. He was well respected. He wrote books. People respected him. They took care of him. But he went to Delhi every month to print the Bhagavatam. And you don't know what that means. It's not like you send a PDF file to your printer and then you tell them where to ship it, you know. But it means that, first of all, you have to translate. Srila Prabhupada got up every night at midnight without an alarm clock. And for 2-3 hours he translated 6 pages every night. When is the last time you wrote 6 pages? It's been a long while. Now when we did Bhakti by Baba and Bhakti Vedanta, we had to write essays of 500 words. It's about 3 pages. And that's work, to come up with something original. So, he wrote 6 pages every night, translating from one foreign language to another foreign language. Now, in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, what's that verse that's there in the preface? There's a 1.5 page preface in every volume of the Bhagavatam. What is that verse? That is the quiz question. If you know it, you can go out with the kids and play. You can call a friend or you can look it up.
Is it 1-3-20?
What is it? How does it start? It's good to have smartphones, but you have to know how to look things up. Nope. Next drop. Nope. Come on, work with me, people. And now everybody's still tired and still blissed out. Nope. Are you in the preface? Just look at any Bhagavatam. Just open it up and go to the preface. There's one verse that's quoted. Tatvad visarga janataga viplavo yasmin pratishloka mabadavapyapi namani anantasya yashon kintaniya shrivanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. It says that these transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed. Now what does it mean? Why does it say imperfectly composed? This is Veda. This is perfect. Why would it say imperfectly composed? What would be imperfect in this composition? Give me some examples.
Translation.
Translation, yes. Because if you translate from one language to another, from one culture to another, something may be considered an irregularity. Like when you say that such and such Prabhu is the most of anything. One devotee said to Prabhupada, I am the most fallen. Srila Prabhupada said, you're not the most anything. You're just insignificant. So, not only it is incorrect English, but we understand the mood, we understand the spirit. So we understand what the person is trying to communicate. But if you put that literally in print, people will say, no bueno. Not up to standard. So, some academics, some scholars will say there is some flaw here in the composition. The person, because Prabhupada is Bengali speaker, but he translated from Sanskrit into English. So if you were to translate from, let's say, Armenian into Spanish. Now, okay, you speak Russian, you speak Lithuanian, but Armenian's kind of close, right? So you get some words, you get the idea, but not the full thing, right? And then you could say you've been here, okay, you met a few people who speak Spanish. You can communicate an idea, but it may not be the exact syntax, how you put things. So, this verse predicts Prabhupada's translation of the Bhagavatam. Now, Prabhupada worked very hard to produce these books. One time, Harikesh Prabhu went, when he was the secretary, he was listening every morning what Prabhupada had dictated in the night, and he would type it. And one time he ran into Prabhupada's room and he said, Prabhupada, is it offensive to say that your books are getting better and better? Because that would imply that before they were not so good, and now they're getting better and better. Srila Prabhupada said, with a big smile on his face, really? Thank you very much. So Srila Prabhupada worked very hard to translate these books. He was doing that in Vrindavan, and he was doing that wherever he was, every night. 6 pages on an average. And in this way, he wrote over 60 books. Then he had to, then he was writing it, then he had to type it, he had to correct it. He had to go to the market, buy paper, that's in Delhi. Buy paper in one market, transport it yourself, physically, on a rickshaw to the printer. You can't just do this over the phone, because otherwise you get a different type of paper that ends up at the printer than the one that you actually bought. Then you have to make sure that he's doing it in the right way. You have to correct the pages. My grandfather was a typesetter, lead type. Some of you might still know. You have little toothpicks with a little letter on top of it, and you put them together. And in this way you form a page. Then you put ink on the page, and then the machine goes chicka chicka chunk, chicka chicka chunk, chicka chicka chunk, chicka chicka chunk, chicka chicka chunk. Have you seen that? Yes. No? You have? Okay. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had such printing presses opposite the deities in the temple room. Very busy, very noisy, very dirty. But he proved the point that this is Brihat Mridanga. We have a mission here. This is not just Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We got something to do here to help other people. Because it's not just, oh, I'm feeling good. Okay, I'm saved. Have you ever met people who said that they were saved? So, then he went with those printed sheets to a person who would bind them. Now first you have to cut it, then you have to bind it, which means you glue it, you stitch it, you put the dust jacket on it, you put the stamp on it, and then you have to go out and sell it and recover the money, because the printer would only give him small amounts of copies, because Prabhupada owed him a lot of money. So he would only give him little batches of books. And then as money was coming in, he would get more books and distribute them. And that's how Prabhupada maintained. That's how he printed his Delhi Bhagavatam's first canto in 3 volumes. Very amazing work. And if you read that first canto, Prabhupada is talking about all the things that are going on right now, right here, today, in our society. Now, this is Vrindavan. Prabhupada had never been outside of India. He had never seen a foreigner. He had never been abroad. But he knew exactly what was going on. So Prabhupada was very enthusiastic to do this work. And we got some trunk movement here. Welcome, welcome. Please come in. Please come in and sit down. Chup kore boshe tako. So, enthusiasm, utsaha, is a primary requirement in our devotional service. We have to have enthusiasm. We have to put ourselves in a position of great eagerness that we really want this, we really need this. Is there a way to get oxygen into this room? What about all these holes? Is that music or what is it? Oh, it sucks out air. Okay. That just blows more.
Here we can only blow.
Or we can open the kitchen door and the back door, and in this way we get a little bit.
Open up the second back door and we put the.
You know, the concept of sauna or Schwitzhütten is popular. It's all good. No need for the ventilator, unless you put it outside and you blow some air inside. That's great. So sometimes you may not be the most expert. Sometimes you may not be the most knowledgeable. Sometimes you may not be the most anything. But if you're enthusiastic, you got a good thing going. Now we're happy the kids are enthusiastic, but there is always the question of, is there somebody there to take care of the children, or are they just doing their thing? And that's a question to the parents. If there is some adult in the room, that would help, because otherwise their enthusiasm will take over, and we will have a hard time communicating here. Do you have a room where the children can draw and dance and sing and play? No. Okay. So we try to keep your attention focused. So sometimes you may not be the most anything, but if you're enthusiastic, then Krishna will empower you to do the impossible. And Srila Prabhupada proved that in his own life over and over again, because his mission was seemingly impossible. His mission was seemingly impossible because he started at a very late age, at the age of 70. He went to the United States. He didn't have any connections, any resources. He came with 40 rupees. How many of you came with 40 rupees to Sweden? Rhetorical question, right? How many came on a cargo ship? With 3 boxes of books that you were ready to trade for, goods or donations, and this way you would start your mission. No. But because Srila Prabhupada was enthusiastic and he had firm faith in the instructions of his spiritual master, Krishna empowered him. The first person he saw when he arrived was the Coast Guard off of Boston Harbor, who was in his little Coast Guard ship. And Prabhupada was on the Jaladuta. And Prabhupada waved and smiled, and the Coast Guard, he also waved at Prabhupada. And 4 years later, that Coast Guard became a devotee. And later he took sannyas, Chavana Swami. So how was it possible? Enthusiasm. Prabhupada had spent a lifetime in preparation, meditating, preparing, praying, producing his literature. And finally, when he came to the United States, the first person that he saw, Bhakti Shakti. He just by looking at them. So when colleagues or friends or family ask you, what are you doing getting up early and chanting mantras and doing this and not doing that? You can tell them, I'm working on my smile. I'm working on my smile. So I can just touch people, change people's lives just by looking at them and smiling. That is the magical potency of Krishna conscious enthusiasm. Enthusiasm in Latin, it comes from entheos, which means to be divinely inspired or divinely possessed. Would you like to be divinely inspired or divinely possessed by God? Anybody? 3 people said yes, the others are still thinking about it. Now this is Sweden, we don't expect an emotional response. That is natural. And you're allowed to abstain and you're allowed to be neutral. Do we have any Swedes here? Original? Reinrassig? Or adopted? Or no? Yeah. 2. 2.5. Okay. All right. Converted. Would you like to be converted? No? Would you like to be converted? You? Huh? Would you like to be inspired? Yes. Okay. What about you? Inspired? Enthusiastic? Okay. Very good. So when you go out and you meet people, they don't want to be converted because they're sick and tired, you know. I mean, my great-grandfather was Italian from the north, you know. Then he migrated to Switzerland. He had to give up his Italian citizenship, right? Because that was the deal then. Then you can change. You can move on to different countries, and after a few years you say, hey, look here, take it, you know, like you're one of us, you know, because after all, you know, you share the misery with us, and you pay the taxes here, so voila, there it is, and we want you to stay. But you see, there is identity and identification. Bhayam vityar vinivesha tasya dishada pitasya vikaryo smriti tanaya burabhajay tvam guru devatatma. There's always two missing words. So that fear arises when we see things as separate from Krishna. As soon as you think I'm Indian or I'm Swedish or I'm German or Swiss or Norwegian, then fear arises. Why? Because of mistaken identity. As soon as you start identifying, you see things in terms of duality. You see things in terms of friends and enemies. So, and that is not really Krishna conscious, and thus it's not really something that makes you very excited or very enthusiastic, because we had so many upadhis, we had so many designations. So we're not coming here to take on another upadhi, another designation. One time I was in Udupi, in front of Krishna Mat, distributing books, and one pandit came with dhoti, chadar, tilak, big sika, big kontimala, and a lot of books. And the pandit had about 12 students around him, and he was moving around the temple. And I stopped him and I gave him a small book of Prabhupada. And he looked at me and he said, "What is your qualification?" And I was a little puzzled, because qualification can mean many things. It can mean what is your gotra, what is your family lineage, what is your academic background, what is your spiritual qualification. So, what do you say when you don't know what to say? Have you ever been in such a situation? Many times. Then what do you do when you don't know what to say? Like you arrive at the border and you say, "What is the purpose of your visit to the great country?" Then you say, "I don't know." They say, line number 5.
And that is good question.
Huh?
Good question.
That is a very good question, yes. That is a very good question. That buys you a little bit of time, right? So you can think, okay. You know, like sometimes they ask, "Where are you coming from?" And I'm like, very good question. Like, today I flew out from here, yesterday I was there, 3 days ago I was there. Okay, yeah, this is the last. That's what they want to know. What is the airport where you boarded the flight? Okay? As if that would matter. As if that would make you, you know. So, if you don't know what to say, "Krishna! Krishna, I need a miracle right now. I'm ready to trade all my bhakti points." You know, when you do sadhana, you get bhakti points. You have your bhakti card. You can trade them for free parking places or for free lunch at Govinda's.
Yeah.
That's best.
But better you trade them for miracles from Krishna. And believe it or not, Krishna will do the magic. He will give you the miracle that you require in order to overcome that obstacle. So I didn't know what to say, what would impress this gentleman, because he did not look like he was very much open to be impressed. He was very astute. He was very serious man. So this last line of a shloka that I don't know, but I know the last line, Gopi Partha Parakamalayor Dasa Dasa Nudasa. I know the meaning of the shloka, but this last line came to me, which means that, you know, Ham Narapatir, anybody knows that one? I'm not a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, I'm not a sannyasi, Vanaprastha, Grihastha, Brahmachari. I'm simply trying to become the servant of 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 Srimati Radharani, who is the servant of Krishna. And when he heard that, he said, very good, very good. Very good, boy. And he rolled up his dhoti and he took out 10 rupees and he ceremoniously handed it over to me. And he said, good boy, keep up the good work. And he walked off with his disciples and one of Prabhupada's books on top of his big pile of Shastra. So, enthusiasm. Anybody can be enthusiastic or not. It is a matter of choice. It is a matter of personal choice, how we dedicate ourselves. Utsaha nishchayat. Nishchayat means
Determination.
yes, determination, firm determination, or endeavoring with confidence. Shraddha shabde vishwas kohe sudrida nishchoy, sarva karma kaiva krita hoy. Which means, in plain English, that if you have firm faith and determination, that Krishna's got my back, Krishna is going to do it, He's going to make it happen, and I'm ready to go along with His plan, then Krishna will interfere, and He will take charge of your life. So how can we have that firm faith? How can we have that determination? It has something to do with trust. Do I trust Krishna? Or do I trust myself? Now, we have our plan. Krishna has his plan. Let's see who's going to win. What do you think? You sure? My plan is a very brilliant plan, you know? Like I got it figured out, you know? I got it figured out. I got plan A, plan B, plan C. I got covered everything, you know? Huh? Sounds familiar, right? Yeah. Yeah, like with Radyatra, right? You got it all figured out. And then what? Well, Krishna had a different plan, right? And then it's either start going along with Krishna's plan or big chaos and big trouble. So, we're here to build our trust, our confidence in Krishna. That yes, Krishna's plan is not just a good plan, but Krishna's plan is the plan. Why? Because He's the man. And the man is the one who makes the plan. And we are here simply to be the witness and to assist in Krishna's plan. And to be an instrument in Krishna's hands is the greatest blessing. Srila Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that bhakti, devotional service, is the highest form of intimacy. That if you want to become close to Krishna, then bhakti, acting in devotional service, is the best way how to do that. In the entire purport to this third verse of the Upadeshamrita Utsaha Nishchayat Daryat, Srila Prabhupada makes the point that bhakti is not just a sentiment, it's not just an emotion. Sometimes people think, yeah, I got bhakti, I like this and I like that. I got bhakti for my dog, I got bhakti for my wife, I like my country, I like this, I like that, But that's not bhakti. That's not bhakti. Bhakti is something else. Bhakti is selfless service. It's not, okay, why do I like my dog? Because my dog never disagrees with me? Huh? My dog always does what I tell it to do? Or others, okay, I give you this, you give that to me. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Huh? That's not bhakti. That's called business. It's called an exchange of goods. So sometimes, for those of us who are working, who have jobs and family, we may be a little concerned. Okay, there is all these injunctions in scriptures that we should not associate with materialists and atheists. But I have a job. And so many of these people tell you straight out, I believe in nothing. I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic. Have you ever had people like that? Yeah? And then you're a little puzzled. Okay, I might have to work with this guy, So how do I do that, Like it says in scripture, I should not associate with this person. So then what do you do? Do you live a life of denial, or put on a mask and a straight face and you smile and you lie through your teeth? Or what do you do? In the same Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami tells us that the 6 kind of loving exchanges of the devotees, which are
Giving gifts, receiving gifts.
Sanskrit. Dati pratigrinati bhuyamakyati pricchati bhunte puchate chaiva sadhudem pritilakshanam. These are the 6 kind of exchanges amongst devotees. And the acharyas comment that unless you're sharing your heart in confidence and you're giving counsel and you're giving food and accepting food and giving gifts and receiving gifts, that means association. But if you just happen to be on the same bus, in the same working place, living in the same neighborhood, that's not association. That's just transaction. That's just marketplace, you know. There is Maitra, there is Bandhu, and then there is Surit. You know the difference, right? There's some people who you're friendly with because they happen to be in the neighborhood, they happen to be on the job, they happen to do the same thing. Then there's other people you're close to them because they're families, they're relatives, they're, you know, you happen to be put together. But then Surit means your well-wisher. The person who has your well-being at heart, who always thinks, how can I do something that will benefit this person? And that's Krishna. Muktaram yakadapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam yatmamam shanti. Shanti, 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 om shanti. If you want shanti, you have to know these 3 things. Krishna is the boss, he owns everything. Krishna is the enjoyer, he enjoys everything. And he is the well-wishing friend of everyone. Have you ever tried to please people? You ever tried to please the world? Did it work? No? No? Sometimes. Sometimes. For how long?
5 minutes.
This much, right? Yeah. And then the same people that you try to help, they turn around and they stab you in the back, right? And they burn you to the ground. And you go like, hey, thanks, that was really nice, you know? I love you too, you know? That was wonderful, you know? I just did everything I could to make your life better. And yeah, it's good to have friends like this, because in this way, I don't need any enemies, because, you know, it's already fine. But it is all because we have unrealistic expectations. So in case you want to become utterly frustrated in life real fast, this is the seminar. It's a 5-second seminar. Have unrealistic expectations. I guarantee you will become utterly frustrated in no time, like this. Just like you come here and you think, oh, Sweden, you know? The land of Volvo and, you know, and elks and, you know. Of course, there's nice people everywhere. Well, we have to understand that what is our purpose? What is our mission? And what is our motivation? Srila Niranjan Maharaj told me, always introspect and ask yourself, what is my motivation? Why am I doing this? And that will be a good question. Tato Brahma Jigyasa, now is the time to inquire, what is the purpose of the human form of life? Why am I here? What am I doing? I could be somewhere else. I could be doing something else. It's Sunday afternoon. Plenty of people doing other things. Why am I here at the Hare Krishna temple / Govinda? Why? Because I want to learn about Krishna. I want to gain my determination, and my determination depends on how much I trust Krishna. How much do I trust Krishna's plan? And how much do I still trust and have faith in my own plan? Now, for speaking for myself personally, I've exhausted my plans. After a few decades of traveling the world, you have pretty much ticked off all the boxes, you know? You've already checked all the stuff. And then it's okay, what is next? What's next to come? Figuring out what is Krishna's plan. That is a really exciting option. And that means nishchaya. determination, how to work with determination. Just like one time, Hanumanji, he saw Mother Sita put sindur, and he asked her, "What is this?" And she said, "Oh, this is good for Ram's health and for his long life and for his protection, and it makes him happy to see that." So Hanuman disappeared. And then he came back, and he was all full of sindur. That's why sometimes you see Hanuman is like all covered in orange, you know. Of course, they don't put sindur, they put this orange color on him. And because he said, if this is making Ram happy and it's good for his health and his protection, then let me bathe in this. So much enthusiastic, so much determined. Now we may be very enthusiastic and very determined, but if there is no bhagya, if there is no patience, it's not going to work. In 2015, I was in the Bhakti Center in New York with my guru, and he told me, you should go to San Francisco to open a center. And I asked him, why San Francisco? And he said, because it's a very important city, and we didn't have a center there for 30 years. And also, you will learn patience. And I said, patience? Me? You're joking, right? And now it's 2023, it's 8 years later, and I understand what he talked about. So, of course, I'm here with you in Gothenburg, Sweden, and the center is there, and it's running. And they're doing better when I'm not there. Because the proof of your leadership is what happens when you're not there. What is going on when you're not in the shop? That is the question. And that you find people who are more capable, more enthusiastic, more determined, and smarter than you, and you empower them. And then you go and you do what only you can do. Because there are other people who can do these things, but you have to do what you have to do. That is parampara. That is having faith in Krishna's plan. But having a mentality of, if I'm not here, everything will just disintegrate. The world will stop turning, and the oceans will stop, and the sun will stop, and everything will just... That is not Krishna consciousness. That is not having faith in Krishna's plan. So as we're slowly getting older, of course some of you are getting younger, but some of us are feeling it, and they are getting a little older. You notice when you're older, you go into a room and you look, where's my chair? Where can I sit down? As a kid, that's not in your mind, right? Because you don't want to sit down, you want to run around and just, rock the world. But when you get older, you realize, I might not be invincible. I might not have all the gas in the tank. I may have to choose my battles. So, as we're getting older, we should have plans. Okay, let me train a few of those enthusiastic, strong-minded, and determined kids, and teach them all I know. And they will do better. They will do better. One time Srila Prabhupada said, the children of your children will be the pure devotees. Have you heard that saying? Did you ever wonder why he said the children of your children? Why can't it be my kids? Why does it have to be the children of my children? Did you ever wonder about that saying? And one devotee, one lady from Detroit, Michigan, she told me that she asked Prabhupada that question. And Srila Prabhupada's answer was, because your children, they have to associate with you. That's why it won't be your children. It will be the children of your children. And generally speaking, it takes 3 generations. Like you can see, the first generation immigrants, they mostly freaked out. They mostly totally lost in translation. worried about economy, making it, and just surviving. Then their kids, they're kind of 50-50. They're kind of half-half, like Trishanku. You know Trishanku? The guy was hanging upside down in the sky because one person said, you go up to the heavenly planets, and the other said, no, you go down, and he's still hanging up. So that's usually the second generation. But then their children, they're fully local. They, not just language, not just customs, but they think, feel, and breathe the local DNA. Now, where does patience come from? How do you achieve patience? Patience comes from our practice of Krishna consciousness. When we see with how much love and dedication and faith in the process Srila Prabhupada established this movement. And he knew very well who was who. Yet he treated everybody who walked through the door as a future leader of the Hare Krishna movement. There was some pretty funky people who walked through the door, you know. One time a person asked Prabhupada, what is a hippie? And Srila Prabhupada said, something very extraordinary. Now, with hippie, we don't mean people who have long hair or wear a flower or look a little. No. If you want to meet a hippie, you have to come to San Francisco. So, yet Prabhupada had faith in the process that Krishna consciousness, bhakti, it works. And it will transform the life of these people. And what happened? They became the future leaders of the Hare Krishna movement. And many of them did great things, and some did terrible things. But Prabhupada had firm faith that the good will outweigh the bad. And Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. He will extract the essence. What is the essence? Their devotion. Their sincerity. Krishna doesn't pay so much attention to the mistakes. When Putana came, she was a big demon. She transformed herself into the most beautiful young lady, and everybody thought, oh, what a gopi. Oh, she came to see Krishna. Is she the goddess of fortune? Who is she? And she walked straight in, and she picked up Krishna, and Krishna closed his eyes. Why? Because he thought, oh no, the first demon I have to kill is a woman. Not so. But what to do? He also closed his eyes because he did not want to discourage her. Because he knew she was on a mission. She was ready to do her thing. And he did not want to disturb her. So he closed his eyes and he played all gentle, cool baby. And then he sucked her breast. He took out the poison. He also took out her life air. But he didn't mind the bed. And he gave her a position as one of the nurses in the spiritual. That is Krishna. Sri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. If you meet a group of Indian businessmen somewhere at an airport and you want to distribute books to them, and they all look very westernized, you know, like very, we don't need this, we got it figured out. You know that kind of look, that kind of, we're good, you know, we got it figured out. One strategy is, you put your hands in the air and you say, Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai! And they all go, Ki Jai! And then they look at each other and they go like, you're a devotee, you're a devotee, you're a devotee, you're all devotees. Yeah! Haribol! If you want to find out what somebody's true color is, you have to either pick them, because then they start speaking in their own mother tongue, or when they count money, then they do it in their own mother tongue. Or you say something that triggers an emotional response, and they drop their guard, they drop their covering, their disguise of trying to fit in and be one of them, and they realize, no. Yeah, I'm also a devotee. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying, you know, like, not really, but yeah, I'm supposed. I know. Like formerly, I started Krishna consciousness. It was mentioned when I was 15 years old in '84, and you went out on the street, and people said, like yogurt, meditation, karma, reincarnation. What? And now you tell people I'm a vegetarian, and they say, "Oh yeah, I know it's the good thing. I'm sorry, I'm not yet vegetarian." Right?
Yeah.
That's what they say now. I'm sorry, I know it's the good thing to do. I'm not yet there, but I'm trying. Why? 500 million books, 50 years of preaching, 50 years of Harinam, 50 years of prasadam distribution, 50 years of sharing the message of Krishna consciousness. I went out in the early 80s and I told people, I'm a monk. The people looked at me and said, does your mama know that you're here? Old ladies will go, this is Switzerland, they will go and get me chocolate, from the kitchen now. Give me chocolate. I'm like, I'm a monk, I don't eat chocolate. And it hurt them, so I realized, don't be an idiot, just accept it, give it to somebody else. You can offer it. Somebody will like chocolate, even if you don't eat it. One time I took a night train from Kiev to Donetsk. And for those of you who have not taken night trains, there's compartments and there's a corridor. And so I was standing in the corridor before the train takes off, people start boarding, and two men came on the train. And they both had shaved heads, thick necks, very strong bodies, and some tattoos on their necks. And one walked straight up to me, into my face, and he said, Da Krishna Ita! Which means, are you a Hare Krishna? And I was, yeah, I'm a Hare Krishna, yeah. And he said, thank you for giving this knowledge to everybody. One time more safe. And he already had books. And then he asked me, what is this japa? What is japa? Because everywhere it says japa. And I don't know what is japa. So we had little japa workshop on the train, together. I gave him beads and we chanted together. And he took some books. And then I thought, I need to give him prasadam. And I didn't have any prasadam. But then I realized that the devotees in Kiev had given me a big bag of Mahaprasadam. Now I'm taking the night train. What are they thinking? I'm sitting all night in the train, and I'm stuffing myself. But if somebody gives you prasadam, never refuse it. It most likely is not for you. You're just the one who is bringing it to somebody else. Like Prabhupada said, I did not go to America. The Bhagavatam went to America. I was just carrying the suitcase. And because he had that mood of service, that's why Krishna empowered him. And all the others who thought that we're great preachers and we're doing this and we're doing that and we're world acharyas, they all failed. They all had no impact. So, in the morning, I went over next door neighbor and knocked on the door, and they opened up, and there was beer bottles and all unmentionable scenario. Because it was that man, his friend, and that man's wife, his kid, and his mother-in-law, the grandma. So, and I brought them samosas and sweet balls and cakes and everything, and they were like, wow, wow, Christmas came early. So, and then we arrived in Donetsk. And it was like 7:30 in the morning, and it was raining, and it was like 5 degrees. And nobody was there to pick me up. And I thought, that's really nice. Thank you, Krishna. It's the typical Hare Krishna welcome. This went dead. I know it's supposed to be like that, but this is Sweden and technology is supposed to work here, right?
No Sweden. Your temple is Vrindavan.
Okay. Somewhere between Lithuania and India, right? But still, if you have microphones, they do help. I was sitting. This is like India now. You have that feedback, right? That. I was waiting for that. Now I feel like right at home, like I'm in Mayapur. So, and no one was there. Boom. Can you calm me down? It's way too loud. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you. So 7, 8 minutes passed, and then I saw the devotees were coming on the other side, and they were all running. I don't know, but they were late. And they did Harinam, and they came over, and they gave me this huge garland, like this big garland. Like in my book, bunch of tattva type garlands, you know, from neck to floor. And just at that moment, the whole family came out of the train. And the grandmother was holding the 3-year-old boy. And I took the garland and I put it on the boy. And the boy was super happy, he got the big garland. And obviously the whole family was very ecstatic. That same evening, that man came to the temple. And he took part in Horarti, Bhagavad Gita class, book distribution seminar, prasadam. And afterwards he told me, now I'm convinced, and now my family is convinced about Krishna consciousness. So it's good that we distribute books, but it's not enough. It's good that we distribute prasada, but it's not enough. It's good that we do Harinam and teach people how to chant, but it's not enough. Unless and until we're willing and ready to spend quality time with people, to share Krishna consciousness with them, to answer their questions, to hear their doubts and their struggles and their misery, and to give them inspiration and solace. Unless we're ready and willing to do that, it will take a very long time for them to become ready. So I'm very happy to be here and to see your collaborative effort here, the united colors of Hare Krishna, and your dedication to share Krishna consciousness with one and all. I see a lot of potential. Yesterday was a wonderful experience, beautiful festival. The deities were magnificent and the devotees were very enthusiastic and determined. And my humble prayer is that you please create teams, because there's all different types of groups here, all different types of demographics. And this should not be the Indo-Slavic Society for Krishna Consciousness. This should be the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, right? And that includes Swedes and all the others also. As you notice, there are some people of all varieties and all walks of life. And they come here for various reasons. Now, we have a great opportunity. Srila Prabhupada has given us this greatest gift, Kolokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtan. So to accept this gift, to relish it, and to share it with everyone else. This is Vasudeva Kutumbaka. This is being a magnanimous soul. And the more you give, the more you get. I have seen in my own short life that the less I worried about myself and the more I started trying to help others, the more Krishna did the magic and revealed his plan. When I was at the bright old age of 22 years, I got a call from Mayapur that I have to come to Mayapur from my spiritual master. And he said, we just made you the Minister of Book Distribution, which is like the marketing and sales director of global institution. So I flew there the next day. Then I asked him, so what is my job description? And he said, there is no job description. We're not there yet, we're not that organized. So in case somebody says, I don't like organized religion, you can tell them, Hare Krishna is just the right thing for you. Because we're not organized, quite the opposite. So he said, but don't worry, you are already doing it. So just keep doing what you're doing. And anybody who gives you trouble, you send them to me. I will take care of them. And I said, okay, we have a deal. And there I was, 22 years old, sitting with the GBCs and the gurus and sannyasis. And Krishna can empower anybody. It is simply a matter of trying to be of service. Krishna's plan is mysterious. Sometimes Krishna gives you everything, sometimes he takes it away. So he gives you something else. Other opportunities come. Now, most of us, this is not our hometown. This is not the place where we're from. But we're here. For what? For service. And service is the greatest gift. Because If you have service, you're on Radharani's team. If you don't have service, you're not on the team. So I meet people every day and they say, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Jew, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Hare Krishna, I'm an atheist. And I ask them, what's your practice? What do you do? And they say, practice? There is a practice? Yeah. They say, no, you don't understand. Look, then they go and they take out some symbol, they show you something. And they say, no, you bought this for 10 krona, down at the flea market. No, the guy says, no, look. And I say, yeah, that's 2 rupees, Like, what's your practice? And even if you have a practice, some people say, yeah, I meditate. What do? I sit. Well, the duck also sits, like, if you have seva, you're on Radharani's team. There is only one team. There is no such thing as my guru, your guru, this nationality, this varna, this. There's none of that. That's all upadi. That's all designation. There's one team. It's a Sankirtan team of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you want to be part of that team, you got to be a team player. What does it mean to be a team player? Pasar la pelota. You have to pass the ball. You have to enjoy that somebody else shines, that somebody else does great, that somebody else succeeds in life. Why should you do that? Because it's the team's success. It's everyone's success. And if we can't have that mentality, that attitude, then we're not team players. Then we can't be part of Radharani's team. Then we're in the offside. Then we're in the shower room, in the icebox. We get sent off the field. And that's what happened. We had people who were smarter, faster, and more high achievers than all of us put together. But they're not here today. Why are they not here today? Because most of them were not team players. So, let us learn from the past and move into the future. And humility means, yes, I don't have all the answers. But in the Sangha, in the Sankirtan Yagya, Krishna will manifest himself. Just like in the Rath Yatra in Puri, there were 7 Kirtan groups. And Mahaprabhu expanded himself and he danced in all the 7 groups simultaneously. Now, very few people could see that. Only those who had higher security clearance, only those who were prema bhaktas, who had that confidence, only those could see the miracle that Mahaprabhu was dancing simultaneously in each and every one group. All the others thought, he's only dancing in my group. How lucky we are. How fortunate. This is my group. This is my deity. This is my temple. This is my zone. But if you want to have that Prem Sankirtan experience, then we have to learn how to collaborate. And that means not just Janmashtami and Rath Yatra. That means not just 2-3 times a year. But that means every day of the year. Because Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya means every day, Kajinin, or every day, all the time. So what is our game plan? What is our mission? What are we trying to do here? Now we have plenty of project managers and developers and engineers and finance people and graph and artists and marketing people and people with a wonderful sense of aesthetics. You've seen yesterday beautiful Harinam and devotees beautifully dressed and doing wonderful things, great prasada. So there's so much talent. There's so much potential. We may not have that self-effulgent Führer, that leader who's going to do it all for everybody. But it can also be a collaboration of different group leaders, of different team leaders. You see, even amongst the gopis, they have different groups and they have different leaders of those groups. And ordinarily, it looks like they're competing with each other. But when Krishna left, they all cooperated. They all cooperated. How can we get Krishna to come back? How can we attract Krishna's attention? and they all work together. So yes, there is competition in the spiritual world, but there is no envy. You know the German word, Futterneid? Huh? One person's. This one knows, yeah. Futterneid means that not just I'm envious of what you're eating, but I'm envious of everything that you have and that you are. That's Futterneid. We cannot have an inferiority or a superiority complex. If you want to share a message, there has to be eye to eye. There has to be some level of equality. Now, some of these people may be senior, more knowledgeable, or they may be junior. But for the sake of having the group work, which means there's a certain peer experience, we have to let go of our upadhis, of our designations. We have to let go of our either inflated or deflated false ego. Because both of them, it's two sides of the same chapati. Both of them are an obstacle. I was in Miami, Florida. This is the last story, then we open up for comments. And I was shivering groups there near the beach, and there was two businessmen, and they were well-dressed, well-fed, they looked very athletic, and they were having an animated discussion. And I wanted to talk to them to give them a book. But what do you do when you don't know what to do? Any idea? What do you do?
Chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, but, are they going to appreciate it? Like, how's it going to work? What do you do when you don't know what to do?
Doing something.
Doing something. Like what? Give me an idea. I'm drinking water. You have time to think.
Grab their attention by somehow.
Krishna, I need a miracle right now. I'm ready to trade all my bhakti points. Because I can't reach these two guys. They're just in a bubble. So I walked up to them and I said, I know it's hard to be humble when you're 1 meter 90 tall and 53 years old. And one of them went like, do you know me? You been following me? He freaked out. And I said, I'm 1 meter 90 tall and I'm 53 years old. I know how you feel. And then I gave him a big hug. And then I handed him the book. And he handed me the $20. And nothing more needed to be said. Why? Because I offered him not just friendship, but I offered him empathy. That I know how you feel. I've been in your shoes. I was dressed like that. I have family. I have business. I've done it all. I know exactly what's going on in your mind right now. And I know it sucks. It stinks. It's bad. And even though you're making a good show of it, but I feel your pain, brother. And I got something that I'm willing to share with you. And I think you will be able to appreciate it. And guess what? He accepted the offer. If you're willing to offer people friendship, you'd be surprised how many people will take you up on it. Why social media is so big? Now I know you don't do social media and you don't spend time online and on your phones and stuff. But any idea why is social media such a big phenomenon?
They want attention, express their opinion.
They want attention. They're looking for friends. They're looking for somebody who understands them, who they can communicate with, right? So if you learn the art of being not just somebody's maitra, not just somebody's bandhu, but somebody's turi, somebody's well-wisher, they will open their hearts and they will pay you back in the same currency, the same valuta, in the same money that you have invested in them. They will give you back. But if you're insecure, if we're territorial, if we're manipulative or angry for whatever reason, then people will respond in the same way. Questions? Yes.
Thank you so much, people. I have a question regarding team players. How to deal with those who are not team players?
Everybody can be useful. Some people, they just want to buy the t-shirt and that's what they can do. And other people, they can do other things. So you have to see by practical action. A lot of people talk, but then when it comes Monday morning, like yesterday was the big party. And you had good reason not to be here today. Because, you can tell your mind, yeah, I did the whole day, and I'm tired and, right? Yeah, we all feel like that. We all felt it this morning. But Monday morning you can see who comes for the cleanup, who comes to take out the trash, who comes to sort out the inventory and to keep going. So we appreciate everybody. We cooperate. It's just like that. You have Kanishtadikaris. That's the beginners, the neophytes. What's the criteria? They usually argue, they fight, they disagree over details, but they have faith in Krishna. Okay. Then you have Madhyamadikaris, intermediate, more advanced. They collaborate. They make friendship and plans, how to expand the mission. And then you have Uttamadikaris, they share their hearts and they relish Krishna consciousness together. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to associate with my old friend Mahabali Prabhu. That's the reason why I'm in Scandinavia. I mean, this is the bonus, like we didn't know that there was Rath Yatra in Gothenburg and that all of you will be here. But it's a pleasant surprise. But for me, I'm here to spend 3 weeks with my old friend. So we have to be clear on our intention. Otherwise, if you walk into a scenario and you think it's going to be like this or it's going to be like that, or why are these people not doing what I want them to do, or why is this one not a team player? It's an unrealistic expectation. So work with the willing, work with the people who are willing to do something, rather than try to get people who are not willing to do something. It's a free world. So don't beat yourself up and lead by example. You do what needs doing, and then other people will get inspired. Rather than say, oh, why is this not happening? We have a rule here in Bhakti. You can criticize anything, you can comment anything, as long as you're willing to be part of the solution. Because if not, then it's not constructive. I could tell you a million things that are wrong, but it will be depressing. Or I can tell you many things that are right, and then it will be inspiring. And Krishna will give you the intelligence to figure out what needs improving and how and what. So Prabhupada, he saw who walked through that door and what their problems were, but he chose to see the potential rather than the deficiency. So often, we're very tolerant with newcomers, but we're very intolerant with devotees who have been around. And we think like, oh, why this, why that? One time a temple president wrote a letter to Prabhupada and he said, I have this one devotee in my temple and he's doing this, he's doing that, I don't like it, and I want to tell him to get lost. I want to kick him out. Please, authorize me to do that. And Srila Prabhupada's letter was very short and brief. Srila Prabhupada said, you should tolerate him just like I am tolerating you. Not the answer he expected, right? But that's Prabhupada, straight off the bat, So I can only see problems because I have similar type of mentality and mindset. Otherwise, I would not even notice. Why is it such a big problem to me? Because most likely, it's my problem. I own it. So to acknowledge that means some advancement. As long as we think everything's fine, I got it figured out. I got plan A, B, C, D. I got insurance. I got gas in the tank. I got, my phone is charged, and now I can just, I can just cruise through life. It doesn't work like that. Why not? Because Krishna has a way that he would like to see his devotees humble and in a little bit of anxiety. That's just the way how Krishna likes to interact with his devotees. And if you're not willing for that, then go somewhere else and do something else. No, stay with Krishna. But a lot of people, they feel, yeah, if I go to this deva or to this person or to this institution, then it's a clear give and take. I know what to expect. But with Krishna, you don't know what to expect. Because Krishna is the one who makes the rules. He can break the rules. That's his prerogative. Everybody else has to play by the book. They have to play by the laws. They're not independent. When Hiranyakashipu asked Brahmaji to give him immortality, he said, sorry, can't do. I don't have it. I can't give it. I'm only here for 100 of my years. So, anyway, short question, long answer. We had one more hand here? Yes. Okay, I'll keep it shorter.
Okay, so Prabhuji started with the third verse of Nectar of Instruction.
Correct.
So the Utsaha and Nishchay both goes hand in hand.
Yes.
So some days like Utsaha is in top level, but other days like it's reach the bottom. And the same with the determination. So how to keep the Utsaha and
You associate with devotees who are enthusiastic. Because some days are not so great days, you know. Some days are just barely okay, or some days are quite terrible days. But then if I have association of more enthusiastic, more advanced devotees, that will give me a lot of boost. But if I think, no, I already know, you know, like, because I figured it out, for whatever reason, you know, then it will be very difficult to take that sangha, to take that association, to take that good advice, because I will isolate myself. Like here, people you can see, most people here have a little problem with eye contact and with, you know, personal interaction. And it takes some time to make them warm up to the idea of personalism. But when they do, they can be exceptional devotees. It's like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was a tough nut to crack. He was the Raj Pandit. He was the biggest. He was the teacher of the sannyasis, the guru of the king. And how did Mahaprabhu conquer him? He killed him with love, with bhakti, with kindness, by taking the humble position. He heard from him for 7 days, captured his heart by his humility. So, but we have to be willing to take that association. And it's always available. Most of us here, we're young in life and in bhakti, so everybody's more advanced. So when you get older, then some people try to, you know, present you as a senior or as a very senior devotee. I don't know what very senior means, you know. It's one of those strange creations of the language. So we should always feel I'm new at this. I'm here to learn. Then you will always stay enthusiastic. Yes.
How to become a real devotee with the goal to please Krishna and Guru, and not to be pretender or fanatical follower of rules with the empty heart.
Yeah.
How to find
If we read Upadeshamrita, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyama agraha and niyama agraha. Either fanatic followers of rules and regulations, you know, have you seen that? Did you eat peanuts on Ekadashi? Did you drink water on Nirjal? Huh? Or rules. You know, only one rule, no rules. Who needs rules? Bhakti. Devotion. So both of them have to be rejected. So we have to read the whole book, you know? Like people they have selective listening, like children, you know? They go to mommy and they say, Papi said I can go out and play. Yeah. What he doesn't say is Papi said you should do homework. Then you can go out and play, right? And then mama says, okay, you can go out and play. Then he goes back to Papi and says, Mommy said you can go out and play. You know, that's called playing the game. But Krishna is not stupid. He knows before we start being hitterman, before we start making all these plans and stuff. He already knows. Where is she going with this? So don't have an ulterior motive. Iskcon. You have to be sincere. You have to be simple-minded. Bhakti means simplicity. Some people come here because they want a job. Some people want here because they want a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Some people come here because they feel pain. Other people come here for whatever reason. They may come here to buy or sell something. And whatever reason to come here is a good reason to come. But it's not a good enough reason to stay here. If you want to stay here, you have to upgrade your motivation, your reasons to bhakti. Because otherwise, at some point, you have found the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the friend, the job, the whatever. You have done all that, and then you moved on to other things. But what keeps you here is bhakti. So, just like Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Sounds great, right? Give up all dharma. You like that? No more dharma. Give up all the dharmas. But then what does Krishna say? Mamekam sharanam braja. Fully surrender unto me alone. Oh, that part. Well, that part is a little more difficult. So we need Sangha. We are not aloof. We have to have our, whatever it is that what we need in life, we have to get it in the association of the devotees. Otherwise, our heart, our emotions, our needs will take us somewhere else, which will separate us from the association of the devotees. So make sure that you can fulfill your heart's desire in Krishna consciousness. And if it's not possible, you have to introspect and see maybe some of my desires are not so conducive. Maybe they're not so productive. Personally speaking, Krishna has fulfilled and exceeded all my desires. He has given me everything, and He has taken a lot away, and He has given me other opportunities. And right now I'm here because I'm very happy and enthusiastic to cooperate with Krishna's plan. Now, when people ask, so when are you coming next time? I say, well, last time was 13 years ago, so we should do this every 13 years. I don't know. We have many mentors and guides, and we're here to serve. So, if you want this community to be sustainable, you have to reach out to locals and empower the youth. Otherwise, you will have a church. And I believe there's many nice churches already in Sweden and in the world. There's many temples and many beautiful architectural constructs which are busy maybe 1 or 2 hours a week. And the rest, it's a bunch of tourists who go and light candles and take pictures. And I don't think that that was Prabhupada's idea when he went on the Jaladuta. I think he had a different plan. So we should try to do something that is relevant, that is impactful and attractive for the people here. And right now, you got all the demographics. So choose your battles and don't try to just be one thing. Because we have to see. Because our legacy, the way we're remembered, is the way how we hand this thing over to our kids. And if we fail to empower them and to make them feel that they own this, they earned this, and it is their mission, then we have failed. It's as simple as that. Now, I've been out on the streets all over the world. Just did 7 years in the US, mostly California. And I have a lot of, there's 500,000 Indians in the area. 5 languages. And when I meet them in the colleges, they say, my parents are Indians. My parents are Indian. You get it? You get the idea? Like your kids will say, my parents are Russian or Lithuanian or whatever. My parents. Me? No. I'm something. So, if you want to prevent that, it means we have to learn to understand what is bhakti, how to communicate it, how to make it attractive and relevant. So that our kids will not say, my parents are ... And you can fill in the blanks, so you can put whatever you want. Because it takes generations. As Prabhupada said, thank you. that children of your children. The natives, they had this saying, 7 generations. They were thinking 7 generations. What I do now will impact 7 generations. It's a bigger picture than just, okay, I'll make my money. I put it in fixed deposit. I go back. What if you had enough money, you didn't have to work another day in your life? What would you do different? What would you do different? What would you do for the rest of your life? Let's say you had enough money to retire right now. What would you do with the rest of your life? That's your homework for today, okay? I'm really interested. I'm really excited to know what would you do with your life. Because I guarantee you, unless it's got something to do with bhakti, it's not going anywhere. Because plenty of other people have already tried and done that, and it hasn't worked. The American dream is still a dream. Whether it's a daydream or a night dream, whether it's a nightmare or a romantic dream, it's the same. It's a dream. It's very short-lived. So please, live in the real world. Invest in real relationships. Create real friendships, which are based on bhakti, which are based on sat, on truth. And be part of the solution. Because otherwise, you're part of the problem. Yes?
Regarding pasar la pelota, or to become a team player, I just want to quickly introduce myself. I just moved here yesterday with the company Verona. My name is Mayuri Saki. I just want to say that I'm in the process of a new chapter in my life, finding a job. But in between, I would like to say that if anyone needs my service or something, please engage me because I'm new to this young path. And I want to become a team player.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome. Okay, we have a lot of hands and little time. I don't know, I don't want to get banned from this place on my first visit. But since I'm only thinking of coming back in 13 years, I have nothing to lose. We'll go ahead and see how far we get till they cut off the mic. Yes.
Very short question, Prabhu. It is just a practical question. You can see tomorrow, like how many people come from Rath Yatra. Even they fight for to touch the Rath, they fight to touch for the idols. And most of them even do the prayers every morning before coming out from the home.
Good.
But they don't come here
Yeah.
because like they don't follow the 4 regulated principles.
It's not about principles, you see. It's not about principles. If you make this place vibrant, if you have stuff that's attractive for the kids, you get the parents. Because parents are just the drivers for the kids. Did you notice?
Yeah.
What do you do all week? You drive your kids around. That's what parents do. So if the kids want to go somewhere, then you go there. So if you make this place vibrant for kids, then we get the parents. Then the kids go and do their kids stuff. The parents sit in class. What else is there to do? Play on your phone. You can do that at home. You're already here. Let's talk to a few people and maybe learn something. And then you develop this place into an educational facility where people actually feel, hey, wow, this is a little more than what I learned in MBA or in IIT or here or there. This is like the cosmogonal stuff. This is like the master class. Not because the guy who's got the mic, who's got the big mouth, but because I'm hearing from the sages. I'm hearing from Parampara. I'm hearing from people who are Trikalagya, who are Tattvadakshis. So just being from any cultural background is not a qualification or a disqualification. You have sincere people everywhere. But we have to help them to refine themselves because, things got lost in translation. It's been a long way home from Rome, It's been a long way from Udupi to Gothenburg. So a few things got messed up. And now we have to, alignment, yoga, you have to bring it back to center. And we have to help people to do that. I was very fortunate. I joined when I was 15. I was a sports guy. I had a lot of older brothers and older sisters. And they were very generous with their time, their affection, and their criticism. And I'm here today because of them. Because they helped me. People like Tapas. People like so many. Harinamananda, my older brothers. Yeah? So we need that. Because if you don't have peer sangha, you can be good, but you can't be great. You can be on the local team, but you can't be on the national team. To be on the national team, you have to be on a different level. And for that, you have to work for it. You have to refine yourself. And that's why we do this. I told people when I distributed books to the non-Indians, I told them what we're doing here is play group for techies, you know. We bring all the techies together and we have play group. We do group activity together. It's called Ratha Yatra, pulling, you know, the Lord of our hearts. And we get people to cooperate, to work together. And not be worried about, okay, so where are you from, and what's your gotra, and where did your mother go to the temple, and how did your father make his money? Because that's irrelevant in Bhakti. It's irrelevant in Bhakti. Valmiki Muni was a dacoit, a gunda. You know what a gunda is? Huh? Yeah, it's a person who kills people and robs them, you know? Bihari, Bangla. Huh? That's from there. The best and the worst. And Naramuni met him and he saw potential in him. He saw a person who was very good at what he's doing. And he's very determined. But he's really determined for the wrong thing. So he said, if I will teach him Hare Krishna, it's not going to work, you know, this guy. So he gave him the mantra. What was the mantra? Mara, Mara, Mara. And Valmiki said, wow, this is cool, man. This is cool. Death, 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 death. You know? And he kept on chanting, Mara, 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 Rama, 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 Rama. And all of a sudden, poof, he was Valmiki Muni, the author of the Ramayana. So the transformation can happen. Now, whether your upadi, your conditioning is sattvic or rajasic or tamasic or 10th class or no class, it doesn't matter. Because Krishna can do the magic. And he can transform a crow into a Garuda. The proof is sitting right here. We're here because of the sacrifice, the tears, and the prayers of our ancestors. That's the only reason why we're here, materially and spiritually. So, to honor them, to make them proud, yes, we have to break their heart sometimes and go against their wishes and their tradition and go new ways. And the same will happen with our children. But if we instill in them the right values and the right principles, Krishna will guide them and they will do exceptional things. And I can see it already now. Yes, we had one more hand. Here.
I had a question regarding this, regarding Krishna's plan that you mentioned. So, how do we know that our actions and decisions are kind of like not coming from our whimsical mind, but it's actually like aligned with Krishna's plan? Because sometimes we think, oh yeah, maybe Krishna wants me to do it this way or that way, but sometimes it's just our whimsical mind, and then we think, oh no, Krishna anyways wanted this.
You consult. You consult. You have your circle of friends. You have your circle of family. You have your mentors, your guides. You consult. Not like, should I wear pink or should I wear a blue dress today, but, you know, like important decisions, bigger things. You consult. You're open for guidance. You should always think. Other questions? Yes.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, what do you think the practical ways to get this shy Swedish? I mean, so in India, like few places like preaching is focused on foreigners, like Rishikesh, like there are some programs only for foreigners so that Indians will get attracted by seeing foreigners are practicing our culture. So like how are the practical ways to engage shy Swedish people?
You have to see what is it that they like, what are they interested in. And then you communicate Krishna consciousness in those ways. It's been done before. So you ask those who have been successfully doing it. We got some Swedes here who can give you a clear rundown. and what the Swedish psyche is attracted by and what the Swedish psyche is repulsed by. And if you care to listen, then you have some indicator. Otherwise, you will end up with the Swaminarayan temple of Gothenburg. And then next year, there will be the split, and then there will be, the other Swaminarayan group, the modernists or the traditionalists. And then it will fragment, and you'll end up with 16,000 denominations like Christianity. Because it's based on Upani. So we need balance between tradition and innovation. Prabhupada told his leaders to meet in Mayapur every year and discuss one topic, unity in diversity. We need both.
Yeah,
Just like a train, it runs on two tracks. Like we have Pancharatrik and Bhagavad Marg. If we say only ritual or if we say only preaching, it doesn't work. Because of course, we know the preaching is more important, but still, we have to have the purity, we have to have the sadhana, we have to have the deity worship. Otherwise, so people say, why so much rounds? Why, just go out and do productive stuff. I can work 2 hours more for Krishna. Why should I chant? Because unless we have that inspirational sadhana, what are we trying to communicate? I can't ask people to do something that I'm not doing myself. That makes me a hypocrite. And a hypocrite is the worst person in today's dictionary. In today's dictionary, but even in the Vedic dictionary. There was one person, he was walking and he had a skull with dog meat in it. And in the other hand, he had a pitcher of Ganges water. And he was sprinkling that on the road. Narad Muni saw him and said, "Sir, I'm a little puzzled. There seems to be some contradiction here." And the man said, "Oh Sadhu, it is obvious. I'm Slopacha. I'm a dog eater. And you may wonder, why am I sprinkling Ganges water? It is because if somehow by chance an akritagya, an ungrateful person, has walked in front of me, I would get contaminated by that. So I'm clearing that by sprinkling Ganges water. There is an atonement for every sin. But if you're aparadhi, then there's no real atonement for them. Of course, we know that devotees in the mood of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, Vasudev Datta, they have even churned the destiny of persons who were offenders and who were offensive and have forgiven them, like Jagannath. So, in that mood, in that spirit, we should be willing to take a little bit of hardship, a little bit of burden of that weight of Guru on our shoulders, and then Krishna will give you the intelligence. In the last paragraph of Tesham Satadiyukta Anam Pachatam Pritgurukam 10:10, Prabhupada says, you may be in a spiritual movement, you may have a guru, but you may still not know what the goal of life is or how to attain it. Now, who is he talking about? Is he talking about her? Is he talking about him? No, he's talking about me. Now, then he says, but if you're serious and sincere, and whatever you do it with love, even when you play hide and seek, you have to do it with love. Then Krishna, in your heart, will give you the knowledge by which to attain it. That's pretty nice, isn't it? Because some days we don't know what is the goal. Speaking from personal experience. We may know how to get through the day, we may know how to get through the week, but if somebody were asked, where are you going to be in 10 years from now? I think very few people can truly say they've got it figured out. But Krishna will give you the intelligence to make the right decisions with guidance. Yes?
Would you give us some practical tips
manage the kids' activity in Krishna consciousness, and because we have only one day coming here, or maybe 2 days that we come for japa, then how should we manage for the kids? Okay, I'll tell you. You take turns. There has to be 1 or 2 persons who supervise the children's activities. It doesn't just mean you let them run wild, and go crazy and turn the place upside down. But somebody who is with them, who can do drawing, who can do drama, who can do Sanskriti, who can do, painting, arts, all that stuff. If they get bigger, they can learn instruments. They can go on retreats. They can go on trips. They can do stuff like that. It's been done before. Not just Sunday school, but, But it means that 1 or 2 parents have to sacrifice their class attendance and invest it into taking care of the children. That's a requirement. And then there's different age groups, there's different, places who have it figured out. I come from ISV now, Iskcon Silicon Valley. There's, it's been done before. You connect with the people who have been doing it. There's plans that are already in place. And then see what you can do. And Krishna will give you all the resources. There's no lack of nothing. It's just a matter of being willing to actually do it. Otherwise, we live in denial. We live in denial. And now it's normal that, in the cycle of psychological responses, if there is, first there's denial. Like, okay, we pretend they don't exist, right? We've all tried that. How long does it work? You baby-proof your house, and then you think, okay, now I'm free to do whatever I want. All of a sudden your kid comes, hey, look, mommy! And they got a razor blade, and you're like, ah! Because it doesn't work like that. You have to do things with them. And believe it or not, they will be better devotees than we. And their kids will be better devotees than they will. That's parampara. Otherwise, we're always doing something, but we'd rather be somewhere else doing something else. We're always in denial. And that's not bhakti. That's not being conscious. That's not really being here in the moment with Krishna. Other questions? Okay, last one.
We always make plan C, and then emergency hit, we goes back to Krishna. So, and like whenever we talk, even in our life, not going outside, I always have my plan A, and I think that this is Krishna plan. How to come out of this, thinking that how we know that this is Krishna plan or my plan, basic. And same thing when we teaching, how to tell.
Same question, same answer. You remember? 9 minutes ago.
So, but like
Consult. No ifs, buts, and whens. You have to consult. And I know it's tough because mostly we consult with I, me, and mine. Or maybe with our wife,
He knows everything.
But then we end up in trouble. So, and why is Krishna doing this to me? Because he loves me. Because he wants me to understand that there is more than what I think needs to be done. But for that I have to grow. I was on a Tika bus from San Jose, Costa Rica to Managua, Nicaragua. And after 1 hour, the bus driver, he was all, pura vida, everything's cool, And after an hour, he was frantically sending messages and talking on the phone, and I realized something's wrong here. And after an hour, he stopped the bus on the side of the road, and he took the mic and he announced, I'm sorry to tell you that the brakes don't work. By the way, we're in the mountains, we're in the mountains, like Rishikesh, like Badrinath stuff. Well, I'm sorry to say, brakes have not been working, Very good news. Oh, I'm feeling better already. And we cannot go anywhere. I've called it into the company, And no response. I don't know. So what do? You sit by the side of the road. What are you going to do? Call mom? Count your money? Start tapping on your phone? Call the company? Nothing's going to work. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Yes.
Thank you for your great audience participation. Right? You're stuck. And you know you're stuck. And there's nothing you can do to change the scenario. Because once that crocodile is on your leg, like Gajendra, you're not going anywhere. And you can fight for 1,000 years. You're not going anywhere. And that crocodile is not going away. Till you finally admit there's a crocodile. There's a problem. And I can't fix it. Well, Krishna can. Krishna can fix it. And I really take shelter of Krishna. Not just superficially, not just punya karma, papa punya, and yeah, let's get on with this and then do what I really want to do. But Krishna, I'm yours, and you are mine. Then Krishna will do the magic. He always has, and he always will. When Krishna, Vishnu, came flying on Garuda when he heard Gajendra's prayers, Vishnu thought Gajendra is in so much pain, he's in so much anxiety, he's in so much trouble. Garuda is not going fast enough. Now how fast is Garuda? I'm having 3 cups of water here. You see this? Sweden has turned me into a drinker, So fast. It happens so fast by association. Yeah. So, Vishnu was thinking, this is not going fast enough. So what did he do? He jumped off Garuda and he flew through the air. And he, with his chakra, he cut off the head of the crocodile and he picked them both up out of the water. Because he's thinking, my devotee is in so much pain, he's in so much anxiety and suffering. I have to deliver him. So Krishna is very eager to help us. But how much are we willing to cooperate? How much am I attached to my upadhis, my designations? No. Like I'm in the home of so many lovely and generous and very, very, very exalted devotees wherever I go. And you get to live life with them and to see how, the struggles that they're facing and what is going on for them and how they're trying to cope. And then it's surprising to see that everywhere you see there is grandma, and then there is Sai Baba, and then there is Sadhguru, and then there is Jesus, and then there is Durga and Kali and this and that and the other guy. And you think like, what the heck? Krishna is the one who has to sanction. He's the one, if he doesn't give permission, nothing moves. Huh? So why don't I have faith in Krishna? What is missing there? Nischaya. Do I have that confidence? Do I have that trust that Krishna's got my back? Or do I have to think, no, Sweden's a good place. Why? Old age benefits? Retirement? Health insurance? What do you care? You're going to be dead. The death rate is still 100% in Gothenburg, right? Approximately, like roughly. Yeah. Same like in Managua or in El Salvador. So, don't confuse the circumstantial with the primary. Then you'll have clarity of purpose. And take guidance. Always take guidance. Thank you for all your hard work and patience and cooperation to keep this waterhole open here, this oasis in the desert of the mature world, and to take this burden of love and to work in a foreign culture, foreign language group, and foreign mindset, and prove that bhakti is what keeps the world moving forward. And the proof is right here. We saw it yesterday, we saw it today, And we're going to see it tomorrow. And that's the excitement of Christian consciousness. So thank you all for being who you are and doing what you do. And I see wonderful, wonderful potential. Well, we're planting trees whose fruits we will never eat. And unless that's okay, you're going to go and find yourself a different job. You can open a dhaba, or you can sell peanuts or chewing gums or something else. You'll get paid every day. But if you want to do bhakti, you have to invest in others. And then don't worry, Krishna's got you covered. He knows what you need, and he knows what you deserve. And he's willing and very capable of giving it to you. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the assembled devotees and to all the disassembled devotees. I know there's many more, and we should try to tell people that, you know, the war is over. You can come back, you know, enjoy the offline experience and meet real people. And these projects, this bhakti experience is available every day of the week. Create home sanghas and have different group leaders who cultivate. Jesus did not talk to millions of people. He had 12 disciples. Some of them were good, some of them were terrible, some of them were okay. A few of them did something. Now you have Christianity in every place. So it spreads mostly through that sangha. And you have that ability, you have that potential. And wherever you might be, whether it be here or there, or wherever Krishna puts you, because bhakti works, the formula works. And Srila Prabhupada has given us this formula in a very scientific way. Srila Prabhupada was a pharmacist. You know, pharmacists are very meticulous people, because if they're not, people die. And dead customers is bad business. So Prabhupada gave us a process in a way that was applicable for us. And that's why we sign up with Iskcon and not with this Baba and that group and that, you know, who does whatever they're doing. Because it's not about pleasing the masses or popularity contest, but it's about following Krishna's directive, following Krishna's plan. So thank you for taking part in this bhakti experiment. And I guarantee you that the quality of your life will increase by at least 316.5%, or money back guarantee from this time. Okay? Try it out. You got nothing to lose. You already tried everything. You worked hard on the home front. You worked hard here. So try this bhakti. And if you want to get something done, talk to busy people. That's why we're talking to you. Because I know you got your 50 or, okay, officially 40 to 48 hours, but it ends up being 50 to 60 hours. But you want to do something, work with decent people. They're people who get things done. Not the ones who are sitting in the park, you know, with the bottle. The people who are already doing things. And think in terms of training others, empowering the youth, and delegation. Don't think you have to do everything by yourself. So that's all I had to say. Tomorrow we're on our way. So thank you for keeping us in your prayers. The journey is long, and only with the stick of the mercy of the Vaishnavas can we make it through the desert of the material world. So thank you. And keep moving forward, and Krishna will give you everything you need. And continuously keep refining your vision, because people want to know, where is this whole thing going? What are you trying to do here? Is it just a restaurant and a once or twice a week gathering, or what's your plan? What do you want to do? And don't forget your homework. What would I do if I wouldn't have to worry about money for the rest of my life? It's a good meditation. See what you come up with. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Swansha Kalpa, for doing this job. It was a very job. What we done? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vinanyanadi ki. Thank you. Thank you for wishing.
Hari Hari.
Yes, Hare Krishna devotees, we. Today? Okay. Actually, we should have a Gaura Rachana. Yes, and we were complaining a little bit, so we are trying to do it in a top mood. Yes. Yeah, not loud like Dana. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
श्री गौराती जी जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रत कार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णवरिंद की नमाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय। गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glory to the Summit devotees. All glory to the Summit devotees. Hare Krishna. All glory to the Summit devotees. Hare. All glory to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glory to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Nice to see you, all of you here. It was very nice continue the yesterday festival. We have so many nice guests today here from different places. And I want to make some announcements about the next week. The next week we will have programs as usually. So we will have a Wednesday program, which starts at 6 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday. And yes, so we are reading a little bit from Namamrita. Yes, and we are singing a little bit and chanting japa usually. Then we have Friday program we are reading from Prabhupada Lamrita and also singing. Yes, and sometimes chanting also. And always we have a prasad in the end of the programs. And then we have Saturday program. I think if I don't miss something, I think it will be the Saturday program. So on Saturday program it's something like today, but on Saturday. So this is how we do it. It's also like with a lecture and prasadam. Yes, and I want to say thank for everyone. Want to thank you everyone who has distributed some donations or some services during this week. It was really this spiritual week in Gothenburg. Usually we have quite easy way if we compare with this week. So other weeks we are quite easy and simple. Yes. So yes, and only by the cooperation between devotees together it is possible to do such a things, such a festivals. And yes, and thank you for all the guests who came and who share with us inspiration and knowledge. So we are very thankful for every and each of you. Thank you. So I hope we will see you more or less regularly, maybe not every 13 years. More regular. Yes. But yeah, we will see. So we hope really that you will continue to come and contribute your knowledge, and I think it would be very nice thing to do to go between the yatras. So we also would like to visit some other yatras and yes, and take part in some programs. So we are thinking quite long time ago. We have started thinking, but it's always these small things which do that we are a little bit stuck here. But for sure we will do. We will come to Norway, to Riga and some other places. Yes. Malmo. Yes, Malmo as well. Yes. So the first and closest places, so we can have together some programs.